Okay, first off, I think I should probably apologise for not making a video in so long, partly because I'm really busy. I'm doing my PhD and looking for a job and moving house, so that's kind of got in the way of everything else. And also because this is a video that I've been working my way up to for a while, and I've been sort of scared to do it, and so I've been putting it off. I am going to talk about the issue of self-harming today, and it's not really something that I'm comfortable talking about necessarily. I mean, I can, but it's just most people don't really know about it, so I don't really have that much experience of talking about it from my own point of view, if that makes sense. So I was sort of debating whether or not to do it, but I mean, partly I make these videos in the hopes of giving support to other people out there who have mental health problems, but also because I want to get better myself and I want to understand my own problems better through sort of talking about it and interacting with other people. And if I only stick to talking about the things I'm comfortable with, there's not really much point in me doing it. So hence I'm doing a self-harm video. It is something I've got personal experience of, which most people, just about everyone in my life, they don't know that. So if you're watching this and you know me, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but well, yeah, it's kind of an awkward thing to bring into conversation. Started when I was about 13, and then it was usually just I'd sort of scratch myself. I had like a compass or something like that, and I'd just scratch myself, and like I would sort of hit my arm against a wall and give myself bruises, that kind of thing. Stopped doing it for ages. Then a few years ago, when the medication I was on stopped working, my depression got worse than it had ever been, and I started up again, and this time I was older and had access to, you know, sharper things. So yeah, it was mostly sort of cutting tops of my legs, inside of my where people wouldn't see, basically, because I didn't want anyone to know. I was embarrassed about it, and it was just something that I did, and I didn't want to worry anyone with it. And then, you know, I'd do the bruising thing as well. I'd sort of, yeah, I was very bruised. And there was this one time where I was really upset, and I hit myself repeatedly in the face, which sounds insane and is insane. And I mean, my whole thing was I didn't want people to know, and I hid it very well, and it was this big secret. But this, my whole face swelled up. I mean, I looked really bad. I looked like I'd been in a fight, but with myself, and I had to sort of, you know, do the whole emo hair thing like that for a few days, and I had to keep telling people, oh yeah, I fell over, yeah, I got hit in the face with a football or something. And it was ridiculous because it was like I was covering up an abusive relationship, which essentially I was in, but with myself. And yeah, it was really bad. And I haven't done anything like that for over a year now, well over a year, which is really good. Not saying that I never will again, because I thought I never would again after I stopped as a teenager, but fingers crossed, I never want to again. And it's something that I've had a hard time coming to terms with, because now I have these scars that are left. And I mean, not that I think scars in themselves are ugly. Like, my favourite physical feature is this little scar I've got next to my eye from when I fell over and hit my head on a chair when I was 2. But these, it's kind of more what they represent. And I don't want anyone to see them, and I can't get rid of them, and they're just there, and I hate them. And so I mean, it is awkward because I then have to, if someone says, oh, do you want to go swimming? I have to sort of make up an excuse as to why I can't go swimming. Oh, I forgot my bathing suit. Or, oh, my favourite one that I use is that I am allergic to chlorine. If you know me and I've told you that, I lied to you. I'm very sorry. But if you think about it, it was for the best. I saved us both from an awkward situation where you would have felt bad and I would have felt bad for making you feel bad, and it just would have been awkward. So, I was doing the right thing, I think. But yeah, that's why I don't swim. And yeah, it's awkward, and it's why, like, if I get changed, I sort of do it very, very carefully so no one sees the tops of my legs. And it's not because I have a complex about my body, because I really don't. It's just the scars, and that's why I do it. And yeah, it is something that I'm sort of struggling with, because I get angry with myself for doing it, which isn't the most productive thing. I just think, oh God, you bloody idiot. Why would you do that? You've stuck with this for life now. But I don't know. I suppose I should talk a bit about reasons behind what I did. I mean, people talk about self-harming as it being a sort of release, which it was. I mean, when I was really, really depressed, it was like there was this tension building up inside of me, and it was like, I don't know, it was a release, but it was also a form of punishment. I felt like I needed to be punished, and like I deserved it. I deserved to, be hurt, be scarred. I deserved to be as ugly on the outside as I felt I was on the inside. And it was just, I don't know. I felt like I was the most disgusting thing in the world. And I mean, I used to think, wouldn't it be so much better if, instead of, innocent people dying, like a murderer came along and just killed me horribly, and because, I don't deserve anything better. And yeah, I mean, it's weird talking about this because I've been doing really well lately, and it's weird thinking that was how I used to feel. But yeah, that's why I did it. And the way I'm trying to think about it now, to come to terms with it, because I mean, if I met someone else who self-harmed, which I have, I don't judge them negatively for it. I'm very sympathetic and understanding, and I get why, and like, it doesn't gross me out or freak me out at all on someone else. And I know that I should give myself that same, well, kindness, really. The way I'm trying to look at it is that a lot of the time when I was really, really bad, I wanted to die more than anything. And by doing that, it was sort of, I don't know, it was kind of like it was doing something that was self-destructive without actually killing myself. So in a way, I was trying to save my own life, which sounds really dramatic now I said it out loud, but it makes sense to me. I was doing that so that I wouldn't have to do the other. And so that's how I'm trying to think about it now. So yeah, moving on from my personal experiences, I suppose I should give advice on what to do if you're self-harming. I mean, the only way that I stopped was by finding a good doctor, having the right kind of medical support, and being put on the right medication for my bipolar disorder. Which, I mean, once you get to that stage, brilliant, that's fantastic, and hopefully, you know, the same will happen to you, and you're strong enough that you don't need to do that anymore, and it's all okay. But there are other things that I found helpful when I was really bad that I actually did to stop myself from self-harming, which you might find useful. You might think, you know, use some other method, in which case comment below and let me know. A few things. I used exercise a lot because, as I said, it was like this build-up of tension and anger, and if I just went to the gym or went to the park and ran and ran and ran until I was exhausted, then it would kind of I was so exhausted by then I didn't have that nervous energy anymore. Another thing, if it's safe for you to do so, go out of the house, go for a walk, especially if you can go somewhere where there are people. I know when you're feeling like that, you don't necessarily want to be around a lot of people, but it does help, and you're not going to hopefully self-harm when there are loads and loads of people around. And if you do, then you'll probably, you know, someone will hopefully help you. And just sort of stay there until that feeling subsides a bit and it wears off and you feel safe to be by yourself again. Another thing, if you really do feel like you need to hurt yourself, you can use the old elastic bands trick, where you put a tight elastic band around your wrist and snap it against your skin, because it hurts, but you're not actually going to leave a scar. Another thing I did was sort of pinching, like this area under your arm. Ow, yeah. See, I didn't even pinch myself that hard, and it really hurts if you pinch yourself there. But yes, I said you don't have to pinch hard for it to hurt, so you're not really going to cause too much damage, hopefully. And if there is someone you can talk to, please talk to them. Go and find a sympathetic doctor. If you've got a family member or friends you can confide in who are going to be understanding, talk to them, see if you can be there. Well, see if they will be your crisis support person. You can phone if you're feeling really bad, and they can talk you through it and hopefully stop you from self-harming. That would be really, really helpful. And while I'm on the subject, if you know someone who is self-harming, who's your friend, the best way you can support them is to not make a big dramatic fuss about it, first of all, because they're probably feeling really bad about it as it is. On the other hand, don't sort of brush it off and ignore it and say, right, that doesn't matter, because it really does. Talk to them about it. Don't be judgmental. Don't try and offer, you know, like, oh yes, well, I know how that feels, that kind of advice. Just be there and listen and be sympathetic and try and help them find proper medical help. Yeah, also, I mean, most people who self-harm, in my experience, hide it like I did, because they don't want people to know. But I mean, sometimes people don't. They're quite, you know, open about it, you know, the fact that they cut or burn themselves or whatever. And there's this attitude that I hate of, oh, they're just doing it for attention, which is the most ridiculous fucking thing. I'm sorry, but it really is. Because, well, yeah, they probably are, but I'm sorry, there are better ways of getting attention, healthier ways, you know, if that's what you want. It's not just a stunt. If they are deliberately hurting themselves in order to get attention, then, you know, that's really, really serious, and it should be taken seriously. And, you know, you've got to try and support them and help them. And if you are helping someone through a crisis who is, you know, has a record of self-harming and they're trying to stop, but then they slip up again, don't get angry with them, because it happens, it does, and they're probably angry with themselves. So just be calm and understanding and say, you know, it's okay. you know, you'll get there in the end, and it's all, you know, it's all going to be fine. You know, give them any medical attention that they need, and yeah, just take care of each other basically. And I know when you're feeling depressed, it's easy to think that people don't care, and it's easy to think, well, it doesn't matter. And I mean, I could say, oh, you know, don't self-harm because you'll regret it in the future, which is true, but it's like, there's no point saying it because it's fucking annoying for one. And it's like saying, I don't know, why aren't you hungry enough to finish your dinner? There are children starving in Africa. It, you know, it's just pointless saying that because it doesn't change how you feel now. But I mean, I'm hoping that by sharing this, I've offered some kind of support to someone out there, or hope that things can get better, because I'm certainly in a much better place and I'm much stronger now. And as I said, I haven't hurt myself in well over a year now, so it's going pretty well. And you know, I care. I know I'm probably just some random woman on the internet who you don't know, but I do. I think everybody's life is valuable, and we're all here, and you've got this life, and you shouldn't let some stupid illness take it away from you. And yes, if you want to message me, feel free. And I hope this has been somewhat informative. I know I've been rambling a lot and it's a bit incoherent, but it's mostly because I'm nervous about making this video, because it's really not something that anyone knows about who knows me. So yeah, apologies for that, and yeah, thank you for watching.